This is Seth David from the world famous Nerd Enterprises Incorporated, bringing to you another special screencast. This time we're talking about tracking income and expenses by sales rep in QuickBooks. Knowledge is power. Make an impact by learning more. Call me right now at 866-945-8070 for information about private trainings. We record the live session with you so you can review it as often as you like afterwards. Calculating sales commissions for sales reps presents a certain amount of challenges when you're trying to do it with QuickBooks, only because QuickBooks is somewhat limited in the infrastructure that it provides for you to do this. You can get very basic, simple, high-level reporting out of QuickBooks, such as sales by sales rep. And based on that, you can look at a gross sale amount and use that to calculate a commission. But of course, you have to do that outside of QuickBooks. Hence the ebook I referenced in the write-up here that I put together a while back called How to Calculate Sales Commissions Using QuickBooks and Excel. So at the end of the day, if you want to do anything fancy or complicated in terms of calculating sales commissions with QuickBooks, you've got to start off with the reports that QuickBooks can provide, such as a sales by sales rep, and drop that into Excel. And then, of course, in Excel, you can go crazy writing formulas. There are also add-on tools, which I can refer you to certain people who can help you get set up with those tools. There are add-ons to QuickBooks that will work and get the sales by sales rep data out of QuickBooks, and then you can run all kinds of analysis and calculations like graduated sales commission schedules, so that if the sales rep is paid a different commission depending on what the sales volume is, or maybe they're paid one rate for the first $5,000 in sales, and then anything from $5,000 to $10,000 is another, and then a third one for anything over $10,000. That's very common, especially in manufacturing and wholesale, where we're employing sales reps to help drive sales. There is one thing I'm frequently asked about in QuickBooks that for a long time I thought was another thing QuickBooks couldn't do as far as calculations with respect to sales commissions. And then accidentally a few years back, I discovered this little thing in QuickBooks that enables you to do what is frequently asked of me, which is, what about getting a net sales amount? In other words, I have a gross sale that the sales rep generated, but before I pay my commissions, I want to deduct, for example, shipping expenses, right? And that's a common one, is that we want to subtract the shipping because that's a cost associated with that sale directly, so that we only pay commissions on the net after we deduct the shipping, all right? So a classic use case. And once I show you how this works, you're going to see obviously right away how you can assign any expense to be deducted from the sales amount before deciding what to use as a basis for paying the commissions. And so that's the thing that I'm frequently asked about, that for years I said, no, you can't do it. But then I accidentally discovered something in QuickBooks that made me realize that, in fact, you can do it. So let's post an invoice to Always Right. And our sales rep is going to be SG, which stands for sales guy, right? And we're going to invoice for stuff I sell. And let's say the invoice, the sale's $10,000. Okay, so of course, watching the background, when I hit save and close, we're going to see the sales show up, $10,000 on the profit and loss, and my accounts receivable, of course, is reflected on the balance sheet accordingly. So pretty straightforward so far. And we know we've got it assigned to that sales rep. If I go into reports and I go to sales and I say sales by rep summary, let's just say, there it is, there's sales guy for $10,000. Let's leave this report up for now. So, and here's just a straight P&L. Now let's post another invoice. Let's say that sales guy has another sale. And actually, let's say this is for a different sales rep. This is going to be for me. Right, so let's say I made a sale for the same stuff to a different customer. This one's going to Never Wrong, and mine was for $15,000 because, of course, I'm a better salesperson. Save and close, yes. Now our summary here shows us this is just gross sales by sales rep. So again, if all I had was a straight commission structure where each sales rep got paid, a set percentage on this, I could just run this report, drop it into Excel, drop in my rates, do the calculations. Then I got to go back into QuickBooks, enter, and pay a bill. Notice over here the profit and loss shows me the gross sales now. Now I could actually total this by rep. This is kind of cool right here. And so here I can also get it now broken out. Here's Seth David, here's sales guy. Right? But as of right now, there's still no way to show expenses deducted from these, right? Because look what happens here. Let me change this back to just total only. And now let's go enter a bill to some vendor. This is going to be for freight costs for $500, right? And let's say this goes to the Always Right customer. Save and close. So now I have freight cost for 500. Nothing happens here, of course, right? Because I just got a cost, and I can total this by customer or job, right? So I can see that always right. Now, this would work great if A, there are no other expenses on the books that we didn't want to be deducted before paying commissions, and it looks that way right now, but obviously in reality there's going to be all kinds of expenses. So that eliminates this as a solution to our problem as far as being able to say I want a report that shows me sales minus specific costs that I want deducted for purposes of arriving at what the net sales are for purposes of paying commissions. This report won't work. Right now it looks like it might, but as soon as I have another expense in here, that's going to fail. And so if I filter this, if I total this by rep, let's see what happens. So now I have Seth David sales guy, and then the freight cost 500 shows up in no rep. So again, that doesn't help. I don't know where this goes, and I don't know for sure if this goes with sales guy or me. So again, that's a problem. That's not going to work. Let's go back to total only. So are you ready to see what I discovered that's going to solve this whole problem very easily? I'm sure you are. Let's go to enter. Let's go back to our bill, actually. Let's go to our existing bill. So we'll double click here in freight costs. We'll double click the drill down report. And here's what I discovered, because I noticed over the years that a lot of screens in QuickBooks where there were column headers had the option, if you right clicked, to customize those columns. And I thought for sure it wasn't going to be here, but I was surprised, pleasantly so, to find that in fact when you're in a bill, and the same is true on a check, when I right click, there is this option to customize columns. Now, depending on how old your version of QuickBooks is, you may or may not have this. And I'm using Enterprise Solutions. I'm fairly certain this is available in the Premier editions. It very well may not be available in Pro. And again, because I discovered it by accident, I don't remember exactly when. I'm not sure how far back this feature lives, so to speak. So certainly in 2014 versions of QuickBooks, it exists, in 2015. And again, definitely in Premier and Enterprise. I'm just not sure about Pro. So if I choose this customize columns, there's the sales rep option. And because even when I saw that was there, I said, okay, but the sales rep's not going to be there, right? But it is. So I add it in, I click OK, and now I can assign it to the sales rep sales guy, right? So that way this $500 freight cost is going to get deducted from sales guy's sales amounts to arrive at what we actually need to apply his commission rate to. So when I click save and close, nothing much happens here yet, right? And this is interesting. So now you're going to say, oh, so total it by rep. The problem is it still doesn't get picked up because this is an expense. And I'm guessing that when you total by rep here, it's looking strictly at what's on the income side of the transaction. So totaling it by rep doesn't quite work, but I'll tell you what does work. Filtering by rep. So let's go here. Let's filter. I love that we now have a rep search here. And let's filter this by sales guy and click OK. And there we have it. So now I have a report that, notice now, it only shows the $10,000 in sales for sales guy. It doesn't show the whole $25,000. It's a standard profit and loss just filtered by rep for a specific rep. And then freight cost. So of course what you're going to want to do now is memorize this report and then what do you call it? And probably customize this so that in the header we know this is the profit and loss for sales guy, right? So this solves a big problem for a lot of people. As always, if you have any questions, reach out to me and I can help you in a one-on-one getting this set up to make sure you understand. But otherwise, this should solve your problems. For all of those of you who have been racking your brains trying to figure out why I can't get a report out of QuickBooks that lets me look at a net sales figure so that I can use that as the basis for paying commissions, QuickBooks can do it. You just had to stumble on that feature like I did that allows you to assign a sales rep in an expense-based transaction. My friends, I hope as always you found this helpful and useful, learned something, and had some fun along the way. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, Seth@nerdenterprises.com, or give us a call at 866-945-8070 and schedule a one-on-one training, and I'll walk you through this step-by-step to make sure you've got it set up right for your business. As always, I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you on the web.